This is Charles James with Eastern Sierra News. Before we get into the news, please like and subscribe to us. It helps us continue to provide up-to-the-minute information and news about the Eastern Sierra. I watched along with a couple of dozen other people from the town of Big Pine as the Roosevelt tree, located in the Big Pine Veterans Memorial Rest Area, was cut down. This is that tree that driving through Big Pine at the north end of town, you always saw there with the big flagpoles and flags. On this beautiful wildfire, smoke-free Monday morning, September 28, we watched as the giant sequoia was felled 107 years after it was planted. The tree had to be removed due to a combination of not enough water, soil compaction, stress, and disease. Considering that giant sequoias can live up to 3,000 years, this tree was a mere baby. Giant sequoias are the third longest living tree species. And to clear up, actually, a common misconception up front, a sequoia is not a pine tree at all. Another name for it is Sierra redwood, a coniferous evergreen tree of the cypress family. It is, of course, the largest of all trees in bulk and the most massive living thing by volume. Another common misconception is that the town of Big Pine was named after the Roosevelt tree. As already explained, first, a giant sequoia is not a pine tree at all. Second, the town was named in 1870 and was purportedly named after another tree in the town some 43 years before the Roosevelt tree was planted. The tree for which the town was named was a big pine tree. People did not have a lot of imagination in those days. It could have just as easily been big tree. For those of us watching the tree's removal, you could almost feel our spirits falling along with the tree as it began to tilt and then crash onto the pavement in a big cloud of dust, debris, and broken limbs flying through the air. There was a communal sense of sadness, a sense of loss among those of us there. A lot of head shaking. People can become extremely attached to a tree. It might have been a favorite tree that as a child you first climbed from branch to branch, or one in which you and your friends built a tree house, or maybe the one that whenever you played hide and seek, the first place everyone looked for you was always in that tree because everybody knew you had a thing about climbing and hiding in that tree. In the case of the Roosevelt tree, the thing the town of Big Pine had for that tree was just the sheer beauty and majesty of it. A tree not normally found on the valley floor, but higher up on the western slopes of the Sierra Nevada mountains, somewhere between 5,000 and 7,000 feet in elevation. And when the Roosevelt tree was decorated for Christmas, well, it was really special and even more beautiful. As the tree fell, a poem came to mind titled Trees, a simple and gentle poem by American poet Joyce Kilmer. It was written in February 1913, the same year the giant sequoia, named in honor of President Teddy Roosevelt, was planted in Big Pine on July 23, 1913, when the Westgard Pass was open to automobiles. The poem begins like this: I think that I shall never see a poem lovely as a tree. And the poem ends by saying, poems are made by fools like me, but only God can make a tree. The people of Big Pine would agree that yes, only God can make a tree. But they would also tell you that a tree can make for a lot of wonderfully sweet memories. By the way, a lot of people are interested in what's going to happen to the wood from the Roosevelt tree. The Big Pine Civic Club is still taking suggestions, and one of them is to look into making mementos from parts of the tree. Stay tuned to Sierra Wave for more information on that. This is Charles James with Eastern Sierra News. Please don't forget to like us and subscribe. Thanks.